Test 1 2 3. Okay, ni I think this should be the starting soon screen. Siapa yang dah join, thank you for joining the webinar. While you wait for the program to start, please take the time to register as an Ansara member if you haven't done so already. The fee is 50 ringgit for a lifetime membership. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can enter the chat to ask your questions. If you are having trouble accessing the chat, please let me know. I guess how would you find out? How do you contact me? I guess you can email me, or you can also send a WhatsApp message at 012-705-5369. And for your questions, please include your name and batch year. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for joining us for our first webinar session, TMTV Videos and Voices, Episode 1. I'm excited to have my friend here, Dr. Lutfi Fadil Lokman. He is the founder and chief strategist for Hospital Beyond Boundaries. And I'm sure he has a lot to share. I guess I got a little bit excited here. I think we should start with a dua. So, A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. All right, I think just a couple of housekeeping stuff. If you have any questions, you should be able to enter the chat, but it is open to subscribers only. Therefore, if you want to chat, then please subscribe, and I think you have to wait about 1 minute. Otherwise, if you are not able to chat there, then please you can send me a WhatsApp message at 012-705-5369. All right. I think without further ado, I think I'll let Lutfi talk about what he's talking about today is the unconventional pathways. Go ahead, Lutfi.
A short slide. Just prepared it just today. It might be a bit messy, but I guess I hope I get my points across well. Okay, so first of all, my name is Lutfi. I am trained as a medical doctor, and this is my family. I have my wife. This is my wife Kamalia, and I have 3 kids. The oldest one is his name is also Umar, and right now he's 3 years old. And second one is Rauf. He's 1.5 years old, and I had my daughter just 5 months ago, so she's now 5 months. So that is also the reason why I choose to have this talk at 2 a.m. where I am now in Boston, United States. It's because during the daytime it's almost impossible to give a talk because they will, climb the laptop and they'll ask for candies and those kind of stuff. So it's very hard for me to give any kind of talk during the day. So right now they are sound asleep, but there's also a risk of them waking up. So if you see me suddenly going away for a bit, maybe it's time for intermission because I need to like give them milk or something to calm them down, and then I'll be back. Just a heads up. So let's go on the time travel machine back to MSM Jasin, 2003 to 2004, where we were Form 4 and Form 5 students. So this is me and my friends in class 412. I guess those from my batch will recognize who these are. Moose, Said, or we call him Big Show, Dola, Zaku, and Hafiz Dinalis. So yeah, I guess when I was in Jasin, I might look a bit skema, but actually masa dekat Jasin dulu tak adalah skema sangat. So ini papan, it's a plan for MSM Jasin. So masa tu kawan baik dekat MSM Dola lah. So Dola yang dekat belakang ni. So malam-malam kita orang duk kopi-kopi this letters. Dan kita tukar. Patutnya asrama lelaki, kopek tukar jadi asrama Lutfi. Dan dapur kita kopek tulisan ni, kita letak dapur Dola. So asrama Lutfi dengan dapur Dola. So benda ni lama agak bertahan lah. Agak-agak setahun juga kot. Tak ada orang perasan benda ni dah bertukar. Lepas dia tukar papan ni dengan papan baru hilang lah benda ni. So quite legend lah benda ni. Agak lama bertahan dekat macam Jasin. So Dola sekarang dia pilot. Tapi dah lama juga tak contact dengan dia. So Dola kalau kau dengar benda ni, nanti contact aku. Lama tak contact. So graduate MSM Jasin tahun 2004. So masa ni itulah 2000, masa ni sebelum SPM. So dekat MSM, kalau semua ingat, masa dekat MSM dulu kita punya graduation is a few, I think 1 month before SPM. So sebab maybe talk ni kita juga nak cakap pasal kerjaya. So sejujurnya masa dekat MSM macam tak ada sangat hala tuju kerjaya. Masa kita dekat MSM dulu, kita 2004 ni antara batch yang yang lelaki lambat masuk. Rasanya kita the only batch yang mana perempuan masuk dulu and then lelaki masuk lambat. Rasanya alasan dia sebab tu asrama lelaki tengah dalam construction tau. So masa tu agak 3-4 bulan juga lepas form 4 start, baru student lelaki masuk. So masa tu form 4 kan. So lepas tu sebelum tu just PMR. Tapi result untuk masuk MSM Jasin dah dapat after result PMR. So basically what happened was that masa form 3 tu dan tahu akan masuk MSM, masa dekat sekolah harian tu sebenarnya agak main-main jugalah. Sebab kita tahu kita dah masuk asrama lah, penuh power kan. So kita macam tak study sangat kan. Lepas tu 4 months later tiba-tiba masuk MSM. So yang lelaki-lelaki ni happy lah baru masuk kan. Padahal that 4 months tu, a few weeks after that je tak silap ada terus peperiksaan pertengah tahun. So macam agak shock juga kan, baru masuk yang the girls dah macam masuk pada awal tahun, so diorang dah belajar semua benda kan. Yang kita boys ni agak takut-takuting. Tapi the boys yang macam memang masa sebelum masuk pun dah ikut memang rajin study, alhamdulillah lah they do quite well. But for me, I think masa form 4 tu sebelum masuk banyak main. So the first exam tu it was very bad lah. So in the beginning my pointer was really bad. It was around 2.1 ke berapa tak kan. So awal-awal tu masa dah down. So to be honest, masa dekat MNSM tak ada hala tuju sangat lah nak jadi doktor, tak fikir langsung jadi doktor. I don't know what to become when I was form 4, form 5. But and then came the graduation day. So graduation day ni agak life changing lah. Sebab masa hari graduasi ni, kita beratur ikut pointer tau. So yang the first kali akan panggil is for flat lah kan. So ingat lagi for flat masa tu Syairah, dia for flat semua semester. So memang membanggakan lah MNSM dengan membanggakan parents dia kan. But for me, finally in the end my pointer was around 2.5. So my parents had to wait more than 1 hour lah on top of waiting for the VIP to come and to give his speech. So kebetulan waktu VIP datang lambat and Dewan Bendahara time tu tak ada aircon. So they have to wait in the hot berpeluh-peluh kan. And then to wait for me to come to the stage and get the certificate pun 1 hour lebih. So rasa kesian lah dekat my parents. So masa ni ada dapat kesedaran sikit. Man, it cannot go on like this. Kesian my parents kan. And I also have a pangkat pakcik lah. My pakcik ni muda, kebetulan sebaya, Khairul Fahmi dalam gambar ni. So he was dia 3.5 pointer kan. So masa tercabar lah kan. I mean my own family member can do well, but why can I? So masa tu around 1 or 2 months before SPM. So because of this event, rasa macam I have to change and pulun study last 2 months, dan alhamdulillah in the end SPM dapat straight A. It was 7A13A2, tak silap. I think so, yeah. But straight A, and masa tu lah baru terfikir nak jadi apa. And then at the end, in the end, because my parents pun semua in the medical field, my father is also a medical doctor. He's an ENT surgeon, and at that time was the dean of a medical school UKM. So apply lah program perubatan. So dapat masuk College Mara Seremban untuk buat International Baccalaureate. And masa ni buat IB lah, International Baccalaureate. So it's for 2 years. And then masa ni lepas tu dia program tajaan Mara. I was supposed to fly to India, right? But under Mara ada beberapa program yang pergi ke overseas kan. And then there's a new program, there's a twinning program between UKM Malaysia dengan Universitas Pajajaran dekat Bandung. So what happened was that I switched the program. So I was in IB and I switched my pathway. Instead of going to India, I choose to go to Universitas Pajajaran Bandung and twinning UKM. So in the end, my degree will be from UKM lah. So fly ke Bandung masa 2007. So I think in Bandung I had a very good time there. It's the first time, staying overseas. And then dekat sana pun scholarship Mara walaupun taklah berapa banyak sangat kan. Tapi when you live in Indonesia in the rural area called Jatinangor, it's a rural university town lah. So dia jutawan lah, dapat rasanya RM700 je sebulan. But when tukar jadi rupiah, I became a millionaire because you get like 2 million rupiah kan, and you can buy a lot of things lah. So we have we live in a house with a maid, so life was good, and studying was also good as well. I enjoyed studying there, and it really changed me a lot because we live in quite a poor area, and we get to see like a lot of poor patients that I feel deserve better healthcare. So I think this is one of the times when I got interested into public health. So basically, public health is a branch of medicine that deals with diseases and tackles diseases that is outside of the hospital setting. Macam tackling why instead of treating patients at the hospital itself, we try to tackle the diseases that cause the disease in the first place outside of the hospital. Contohnya macam sanitation, like unclean water, and then you have holes in your roof that causes diseases. So we try to tackle diseases before they happen. Dan masa dekat Bandung ni juga ada kawan dia Jasin lah, 2 orang. Bukan 2 orang, they came with the team. But gambar yang awal tadi ni, Big Show dia datang lawat Bandung, but he's in UKM. So he's in UKM and Fadli pun UKM. Kita panggil dulu Fadli for flat. So dia datang UKM, dia datang Bandung as a part of dia punya macam elective program lah, I think. So dapatlah jumpa geng Jasin masa tu. So those were good times. So my program ni, as I told you, is a twinning program kan. So lepas 3 tahun dekat Bandung, kena balik UKM lah untuk clinical. Okay. So dekat UKM ni, masa baru balik UKM, ada satu macam tragedi lah berlaku. Dekat UKM ni, masa baru balik, dia ada macam orientation. So during this orientation, kita buat dekat Gender Baik kan. So we played a game. So during this game, it's like you're divided into several teams. And every team is equipped with some kind of bullet. So bullet ni is actually air tepung yang dah dibiarkan lama, yang kotor lah basically, and it is wrapped in plastic yang keras, macam bila you bungkus air kat tepi kan, dia kan agak keras, dia bukan macam balloon. So you use that as a bullet, kan? So it's basically like paintball. Except you're in the jungles of Gender Baik malam-malam kan. So you're in a team and the goal of the game is to attack another team, and whoever gets hit with the bullet, which is air tepung tu, they are out lah kan. So bila semua team dah kena air tepung tu, dia out lah. So what happened during that night was that I was hit in the ear by someone. Sampai sekarang apa itu siapa. But it was a very hard force lah. It was a very extreme force. Dia macam basically dia bukan baling tau. Dia ambil air tepung tu, dia macam tekan dekat telinga. So it was an extreme force. So what happened was that gegedang telinga my eardrum pecah, and then it saya punya tulang dekat dalam telinga ni, it's called the mastoid bone, mengalir keluarkan cecair otak. So our ear is connected to our brain in a sense, right? So what happened was that my brain fluids were leaking out of my ear. So it was pretty bad, because what could happen is that if you're infected, because the fluid is already kotor, so if you're infected, then you can get meningitis, which can lead to seizure and further complications. So lepas dah kena accident ni, I was admitted to the hospital for 2 weeks, and then during that time it was bad because telinga sangat sakit, and then you kena macam vertigo, but it's continuous for 2 weeks, and you rasa pening, tak boleh buka mata kan. And then you tak boleh jalan lah, because our ear also functions for balance, so you cannot walk. So I was quite depressed at the time, and almost gave up being doctor lah, because my hearing on the left side is impaired. Even until now, I'm hearing kind of like a tinnitus that is permanent until today. So macam tak boleh dengar kan. So I doubt that I can become a doctor at the time. So masa tu memang quite depressed, but at the same time I was thinking that this happened to me when I was like 25 years old, and I think that life can be really short, and I think that whatever dreams that I have, right, if I mean it really taught me that you can really die young. So kalau ada apa-apa impian tu, instead of waiting until you're really successful, until you banyak duit kan, might as well you just do it now, because life can be short. So masa tu lah terfikir idea untuk tubuhkan NGO nama Hospitals Beyond Boundaries. Masa tu still medical student, 4th year, tapi masa tu lah tubuhkan daftar this NGO under ROS, and you start from there. So the first 3 years tu kita fundraising dulu. So masa mereka student until graduation, NGO tu dah start tapi tak ada apa-apa, we don't have hospital yet lah, we were just fundraising. So graduation masa 2012, and then for 3 years we fundraise, and lepas 3 tahun from 2012 to 2015, alhamdulillah kita cukup funding lah untuk beli tanah. So fundraising was difficult because masa tu masih lagi medical student kan, and then when we are fundraising kita cakap dekat orang, we're students but we are trying to build a hospital kan. So to gain the trust from donors tu agak susah because you're handing your money to this bunch of kids and students, and you're not sure whether this could be successful or not. But alhamdulillah, after 3 years we managed to raise enough funds to buy a land, and the person here, so yang pakai heart protection hat ni, is actually our first doctor. So he is actually a neurosurgeon, but he resigned from government service to join us at HBB. So the reason is hospital ni kita bina untuk bantu kaum Melayu Champa di Cambodia. So these are the minority Muslims in Cambodia lah, and they has been persecuted for a lot of years, especially during the Pol Pot regime kan. So banyak yang terbunuh, yang mati, kalau tak mati sebab kena bunuh time Pol Pot pun mati sebab malnutrition, and kalau tak mati pun they are quite left behind because of education and economic opportunities tak ada. So the reason why we build the hospital is to help this community, to get access to modern medicine. So 2015 kita berjaya tubuhkan the first clinic lah. So when we fundraise further, the amount that we have is enough to build a clinic using containers. Because our vision is to build a hospital, but then during the funds that we have, kita fikir macam instead of waiting for a long time to build a hospital, why not use the current funds and start with something. So that's when we started to build this container clinic in 2015, and it runs as an outpatient clinic. So in the meantime, I was trying to fundraising from international organization, and so I was also trying to find experience on international organizations and international donors and those sort of things. So I also found the opportunity to work at the World Health Organization after graduation. So after graduate, I tak start terus kerja sebagai doktor, but I took 1 year off. So I work at the World Health Organization in Geneva in 2013 as an intern. So masa ni kerja as an intern. So this is my boss masa tu. He's from Paraguay. I remember. And ni sekarang orang kenal lah, Datuk Tun Hisham Abdullah kan. I think masa ni dia baru naik DG. So masa ni I belum kerja dengan KM lagi. So he was not yet my boss. But currently I'm still at KM. So now he's my boss, the highest level of my boss lah kan. But before that, I was with the WHO, and I met him, and so he will be my future boss the next year, in which I started working with Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia in 2014, starting out as a houseman. So as a houseman, I kerja dekat Hospital Sungai Buloh, which I have to go through all the rotations for 2 years until I have this. So when I was still a houseman pun, I was still active managing HBB. So it was quite busy lah, because almost every 2 weeks pulang balik Cambodia, pergi balik kan. And because our dream is actually to build a hospital, so the dream lives on even though busy sebagai houseman dekat hospital kan. And we managed to spend time and fundraise, and in the end build a concrete building next to the containers. And although it's not much, it's I mean it's not a big hospital, but at least it's concrete and more sustainable than using these containers. So masa ni baru siap, so tak nampak complete sangat, but these are the pictures once it's completed. So this is the waiting room, operating table. We have bilik bersalin, labor room, garden mart, and ward. So we have 6 beds, 1 operating room, 3 consultation rooms, and 2 beds for labor. And this is HBB in action lah. So we do minor surgeries, like appendicitis, hernia repair, and minor orthopedic surgeries. And we also do OBGYN, ni baby, the first baby lahir ke HBB, and we do antenatal follow up and also primary care. So the staff at HBB ni semuanya is local Cambodian lah, and mostly are the Muslim Champa Cambodian. So we try to provide them with a job opportunity as best as we can. So we try to hire mostly from the local community, and actually they are mostly running the show. So kami HBB dekat Malaysia ni is mostly playing an advisory role. Kita just datang to audit the account, but mostly they are running the show and they are doing all the strategy and marketing and planning and everything. So I'm quite proud of the team there in Cambodia because they managed to manage themselves quite well. And the model that we're using in Cambodia is a social business model in which the clinic is open to all. But for those who are able to pay, will pay the normal fees. But any profit or all the profit from those will be used to fully subsidize the poor or to expand services. So segala keuntungan tak ada pergi kepada shareholder ke apa, it's not a private company, it's a social enterprise. So all the profit kita akan pergi balik kepada yang miskin lah. And that's how we try to create kind of like a virtuous cycle in which we are not dependent on donations. Supaya kita boleh sustainable by itself and not dependent on outsiders. So dengan cara ini HBB Cambodia tak perlu bergantung perpetually kepada bantuan daripada Malaysia. So that when they can sustain themselves, then insyaAllah using the donation that we have from Malaysia, then we can build other type of clinic using the same model. So that's the idea. So now the clinic has grown and we have like almost 10 staff managing the clinic, and still running until today. So siapa nak follow, boleh follow Facebook lah, HBB Phnom Penh. So this is the patients that come to the clinic. So memang nampak macam Melayu kita lah. Tak ada beza, cuma cakap je, bukan bahasa Melayu tapi cakap Champa, but they really look like Malays, and they are Malays actually. And we also do house visits. Kita pergi rumah ke rumah bagi siapa yang tak boleh pergi hospital. We visit them at their houses and give them medications and try to, if they need care at the hospital, then we try to transport them to the hospital. So for the work that we do, Alhamdulillah, in 2016, we got an award from the United Nations, right? So I guess during this time it became a big thing like in Malaysia, because at that time it was awarded during the UN General Assembly. So masa ni the head of delegation was Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. And when I came back to Malaysia, Datuk Seri Najib was the Prime Minister, so he mentioned my name in a few of the functions, especially during pembentangan budget. So it was a great exposure lah for HBB. And I think also a great time was that I get to catch up with old friends. Masa ni Hazwan, my classmate, panggil dia Juwe, dia dekat Berita Harian. So actually dia juga lah main peranan besar untuk tolong viralkan cerita ni kan. So he made me the front cover in Berita Harian. And Fahmi pun interviewed me, dia jadi host untuk Malaysian Observer. So I get to meet a lot of ex-MRSM Jasin, my former classmates. So yeah, it was great. And then masa ni I was still a houseman, and then I ended my housemanship in 2016, and I start working as a health economics researcher at the Institute of Health System Research. So it is still under the Ministry of Health. So it's like a research branch of the Ministry of Health, in where I do research mostly on health economics. So actually during this time I started to look for furthering my studies. And kebetulan at that time, Harvard University also had a collaboration with this institute, and that's how I get to know some of the faculty at Harvard, and I applied to the program lah, and I checked the program and try to get their recommendations. And alhamdulillah, in 2017, I got accepted into Harvard School of Public Health as a Doctor of Public Health candidate. So I flew to the US in 2017, and I'm still here lah sampai sekarang. It's in Boston. Ini pun is a important event ni. Waktu melawat Umar dekat Troy, New York 2017. Always good to catch up with classmates. So sempat melawat Umar and family in Troy. Yeah, these were good times. And then I graduated from Harvard in 2021, which is actually early this year. Okay, so during my final year of thesis, it's like a compulsory for us to work for a company. So during my final year, I worked with this company called Avant-Garde Health as a data scientist. So I started out as a regular data scientist, but then after graduate, they decided to take me as a full-time employee. So I've continued working with them until now. So now I'm the chief clinical data scientist. So basically what I do is I apply machine learning models to predict patients' outcome based on several factors lah, such as type of surgery, supplies that we use, the surgeon, the time of surgery, so those kind of things. And I use machine learning models to kind of predict what is the cost and the outcome of the treatment. And yeah, so I guess that is it. So I guess the reason why I decided to choose the title Unconventional Pathways is that, I mean, for a medical doctor, this is not a conventional pathway lah. So usually as a medical doctor, you would specialize into clinical pathway that you become, the most popular is, maybe a surgeon, a cardiac surgeon, or a neurologist, or a neurosurgeon. But my pathway ni agak bengkok sikit. It's not straightforward. After houseman, then I involve myself in NGO, working mostly on social enterprises. And then I explored the field of health economics. And then dekat Harvard, my focus was on value-based healthcare. And then I delved into data science, machine learning models, and those kind of things. So it's not straightforward. But I'm glad that I learned a lot of things. So if you ask me after this, my pathway pun, I cannot tell. Right? So some people, they would like to have a pathway that is, a straight pathway where you know what you will become in the future. But I guess everyone has their own preference. And for me, I think I live by Steve Jobs' new quote, in which that you need to really learn really different things to come out with something that is really, really, out of this world. For example, Steve Jobs dulu masa in the beginning, what he learned was calligraphy, bukannya computer science ke apa to create Apple. So because of that class in calligraphy, he learned about fonts. So he created, a beautiful interface for Apple, and he said that was something that was really different and what makes Apple stand out from other companies. So yeah, so I guess that's my sharing for today, and so that's around 30 minutes. So we have another 30 minutes, I guess, for question and answers or anything that you guys want to ask.
Yeah, thanks, Lutfi. Let's see, change the view here. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Lutfi. I think certainly, your career pathway is quite unconventional. I mean, honestly, I didn't know a lot about public health until what you did, and talking to you in Boston when you explained your concept. Very interesting how you were trying to create something that is sustainable, right? Not just giving handouts, but the community itself can sustain this, healthcare, I guess, at the end of it. So I think right now we'll take a quick break, intermission.
Okay.
And then if you have any questions, please put in the chat, and I'll share some some slides and some promotional stuff for ATJ. So yeah, go ahead. If you have any questions, go ahead, put it in the chat. All right. So as you know, we are trying to expand our membership. So the ESCO for membership, Karen is having a promotion uh, for membership of ATJ. Right now we have freebies for 200 early birds. First 200 registration will receive the free Ansara car sticker. Uh, quite exclusive. Again, right now we have quite a limited number of them, and also we'll have a monthly lucky draw with exclusive prizes we receive from our sponsors. And again, why should you join TGB Ansara TGB Jasin? I think there are many reasons that you can see on the screen, but of course, I think the biggest thing is just to give back. We've all gained a lot of benefits from being MRSM students, and we are in a position where we can give back, even if you are still students or just graduating, finding jobs. There's still a lot that you can give back to the community. As well, we are a non-profit organization, so please consider donating to support our activities, which will be for your benefit. Haven't received any questions from our viewers, so that's okay. I have some questions for Lutfi. All right, Lutfi. So, what kind of influence did the time you had at MRSM, have on, your career pathway? If you can share about that. I know, that was kind of funny about the asrama Lutfi. Never knew until until now, but I'm sure that's
Tak
funny.
perasan.
Tak pernah perasan.
Influence of MRSM Jasin on, I mean, obviously, obviously it's SPM lah kan, SPM and the graduation day that I had, which is I believe it's a life-changing moment for me where I struggled to be successful in SPM. And I think also another influence was that during the end of, nearing SPM, like people were getting offers to study medicine in Russia. I think it's like a special track program. So at that time I really wanted to study overseas, teringin sangat. So I remember that was my number one motivation to do well for SPM. I think during that 1 or 2 months before SPM, I had the pictures of, overseas pictures on my cubicle, and I study. I have my own table inside my own cubicle, so I like to study in my own cubicle instead of going to class for. So banyak punting prep, aku duduk dalam dorm je study. And so I had
Study
those
is.
pictures on the wall, and it was my motivation lah.
I see. I guess I know. I guess we don't have to talk about your personal stuff. We know what you did in the dorms. Let's see. We have a question from Abang Lan kita. So where do you see yourself in 10 years?
In 10 years, to be honest, I don't know, but currently judging from where I am right now, so the company that I'm working right now is also, I mean, it's a Harvard Link company. It was started by actually my supervisor, was Professor Michael Porter, who actually started this concept of value-based healthcare. And I mean, judging from where I am now, I would like to explore the world of academia, and I kind of enjoy teaching. So as the chief clinical data scientist, I have several people under me, and I really enjoy teaching them on value-based healthcare and a bit about data science. So if this trajectory and interest goes on, I guess I will, venture into academia, either here in the US at Harvard, or if not, then back in Malaysia.
I see. So academia is one option as well, huh? For future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got another question. I think you talked a little bit about it, but maybe you can just explain a bit more about what you do at Avant-Garde.
It's so as I mentioned, as a data scientist, mostly what I do is we get data from hospitals, and these hospitals are all around the US, and these are very big hospitals, the top 10 hospitals US World New Report. I mean, Umar, I guess you know this kind of ranking, but it doesn't matter that much actually, because it depends on the size of hospitals and not necessarily the quality of the service, right?
Right.
So we get data from their medical records, things such as the diagnosis, the supplies that they use, the surgeon, the number of hours the surgery is, where it is done, those kind of things. So I take all these variables and I run them through a machine learning algorithm. So because there's like this bunch of data, so we have a lot of historical data. So we predict the past, we predict the future by inputting data from the past. So basically, what we do is that we predict patients' outcome, and we try to, after we know like which one is the best outcome for these circumstances, and circumstances also depends on the patient. So this all relates to personalized care, in which every patient is different, have different risk factors and genetics and all. So for this patient with their own uniqueness, this is the outcome that we predict, and this is also the the optimal amount of cost that should be spent on this patient.
Oh, interesting. So you're looking at cost of healthcare as well.
Yeah, cost and comparing it to individual outcomes.
Got it. See, I know, you know, your unconventional, pathways. Part of it is taking a risk or going places where no one has been, or at least not the most popular route, right? I think
Mhm.
even in public health, it's probably, I mean, it's quite popular, but most doctors would probably prefer to be, you know, medical
Mhm.
doctors working in hospitals or clinics.
Mhm.
So I think this question is quite related. Uh, he said, what is the advice for someone who wants to pursue their dream business but too
Mhm.
afraid with the risks?
Mhm. Okay. Um, can we pause a bit? Because I think uh my kid just woke up, and I'm going to have a maybe 2 3 minute intermission kejap.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
Okay, kejap, I'll be back.
All right, very good. Okay, while Dr. Lutfi takes a break, I'll display this again. Yes, you can continue to post your questions. He should be back soon, inshallah. And just a reminder, Dr. Lutfi is joining us all the way from Boston, United States, and right now it is 2:42 a.m. in the morning for him. So, give him. He's very graciously, uh, you know, allowing his time or donating his time to be with us today, we into the morning. So hopefully you can bear with us for a little bit more. I don't know if Lutfi told everybody, but he's got 3 kids. One is Umar is 3 years old, and then his second is 1 years old, Rauf, and then I believe his daughter is only 5 months. So kita sabar kejap eh. In the meantime, I posted a link for a survey. If you guys could take a moment to fill it up, trying to get from you guys what kind of events you are interested that you want ATJ to organize. Um, we're trying to organize some events. Of course, getting input from you will be very, very helpful. All right, go ahead, Lutfi.
Right, so sorry for that.
You remember the question?
So sorry.
Okay, got everything?
Yeah, so sorry for the interruption because but that's why I try to do that late at night. But I guess if I try to do it in the morning or siang, it's gonna be worse. It's gonna be a longer pause. So this is quite good. All right. So what's the question again?
So I think the question was, what is your advice for someone who wants to pursue their dream business but too afraid to take the risk?
Dream business.
Yeah, dream business. I guess anything, your dream thing that you want to do, but this question is just dream business.
Well, the advice that I always give people is just do it. For example, like it doesn't matter what what your experience was or what your age is, because people start business at different ages, right? So some people, like Mark Zuckerberg, he started when he was kind of like a teenager, but then KFC, the Colonel Sanders started when he was 60. So age it doesn't really matter, and experience also matters, but it not as much. 'Cause sometimes you're afraid to start because you think that you need to gather all the experience and get enough money and enough support. But actually, if you don't start with something, and then you will never start. So the first thing that you should do is start and get it formalized. For example, like registering it with for example, registering with company registration in your country, and yeah, just go with it. I mean, if you're passionate about it, I'm pretty sure that you can be successful. So yeah, I guess that was my advice, and that's how I did it with HBB. There's no funding, there's no experience at all, but without registering it, then I would never start.
Yeah, I think like you said earlier too, when you got that injury to your ear, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
realize, I mean, life is short, so anything you want to do, you should do it right away. I
Yeah,
mean, of course, I
and
mean, I think you got a plan, but just go do it.
mhm.
I agree.
And you don't
Yeah.
have to. You don't need to have an accident. Just do it.
Exactly. You don't have to. Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. So here, regarding Dr. Lutfi, oh, this is from Dr. Jamalia from MRSM. I
Okay.
think our counselor. Dr.
Mhm.
Lutfi, regarding the doctor as a future career in Malaysia, what are your advices to the students who want to become a doctor?
Uh, Advice for students who want to become doctors, huh? It's I gotta be honest, it's kind of like a challenging course and uh, a challenging pathway, and it is also quite saturated right now because everyone knows the issue right now is that doctors are being contracted and their future is not that secured as of for now. That might change in the future. So I guess my advice is to follow kind of like an unconventional pathway, which means that sometimes when you want to be a doctor, you want to be, I mean, your icon is, some doctor that is popular in certain kind of field that is well known already, right? But actually to be successful in the future, the field that will be kind of like important or popular in the future might not be popular right now, right? So pursue medicine, but look for fields that are currently now not that established, but looks promising, and focus on that niche. And then inshallah, you will be, if you focus on that, inshallah, then you'll be a successful doctor and you'll be different from others. If you try to pursue something that is popular, and then everyone else will be doing the same thing, and then it's quite difficult to compete with others.
Right. I mean, that's yeah. I know there's an issue with the quantity of doctors. I don't know if it's surplus of doctors or not, but you're right. I think trying to go into something niche probably a good
Mhm.
route there. There is another one. So, how was your study performance back in Jasin? I think you talked a little bit about that, but you can repeat it. And do you look at yourself as an average student or excellent student? I guess he missed that part of your talk, but it's okay.
Okay, I guess this can be the last question, right? Because I think my son is waking up again.
That'll be fine. Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess I wasn't a good student back in Jasin. As I told you, my first exam I got pointed 2.15, and then my final pointer was only like 2.5. And yeah, I wouldn't consider myself an excellent student when I was in Jasin. Even in curriculum, I was not that active. I was an EMC at the time, but just a regular member, not the president or anything. So I guess I consider myself just a regular old Joe back in Jasin.
Okay. Luffy, satu lagi soalan boleh ke?
Okay, okay.
Okay, sorry Aisyah.
Uh,
Dr. Zakwan Azizi, he said, how long are you planning to stay in the industry before joining academia?
well, it depends on, because the thing about staying in the industry is that you gain the most up-to-date knowledge, right? And I kind of like to stay at least for 1 or 2 years, to get all this knowledge, and then before coming into academia. But especially here in the US, once you join academia, you don't necessarily need to leave the industry. So you can work in the industry, but at the same time become an adjunct lecturer and teach students the most up-to-date knowledge. So it can be a transition during that time. And then when I feel comfortable enough, then probably transition to a full-time academician.
Got it. Okay. And I think we can end the program now. Let Luffy get back to his family and of course get some sleep. It's late there right
Right.
now. Well, I'd like
Okay.
to thank view. First of all, I'd like to thank Luffy. Thank you so much for joining, being our first
Right.
speaker. Uh, you know, quite. I think we're very honored to have you as our first speaker, and
Thank you for inviting.
we'll try to hope maybe we can have another engagement with you for a different topic. Um,
Mhm.
we'll see how it goes.
Right.
Um, let's see. I think that's about it. If any other questions, I think what I'll do is the video will be available on YouTube, and if Lofi can share his LinkedIn, I can include that on the YouTube as well. Of course, he's if you want to get in contact with him, you can contact me, and I'll pass your information to Lofi. And I think Right. I think yeah. So I can share the contact information, and you can go ahead and contact Lutfi that way. All right.
All right.
I think that's about it. Thank you so much, Lutfi.
All right. Thank you, Umar. And thank you
Okay.
everyone for watching.
All
And a
right.
lot, if any questions, you can ask, forward it to Umar and Umar can forward to me.
InsyaAllah. Okay. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum.
Okay. Salam.
Bye. All right. I think that's it for our first webinar. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any feedback, input, I know we had a little bit of issue with audio in the beginning. So, please, I guess you can send an email to me or contact us on our website, and we'll be sure to try to get them fixed. Uh, so again, thank you so much, and we'll catch you. Oh, so we have our next webinar will be next week. It will be on Tuesday at 9 p.m. That would be our regular schedule. Uh, that will be our regular schedule. This particular time is, Lutfi has only availability at 2 p.m. So that's what we did. But next time it will be at 9 p.m. That will be a regular schedule. And if we have enough interest, then perhaps we can extend our webinar to 2 times a week, once on the weekday and once on the weekends. So, all right. With that, we'll end the stream. Thank you so much. And